what is up YouTube? Welcome back to the Cutlass Board Games channel. And this time we're cooking a little bit with the new Stellar Crown release, which has come out today. We've been playing around with a couple of different decks. Yesterday we had our locals and I put together a Torterra EX deck. But this over here is what I am looking at next. This is Great Tusk Mill. The main card in it, Great Tusk, has Land Collapse, which for 2 colorless, if I have played an Ancient Supporter this turn, my opponent mills 4 cards, so put from their deck into the discard pile. And if I have not played an Ancient Supporter, it's just 1 card. So the goal is to be playing Sada or Explorer's Guidance every single turn, potentially, to enable that extra stuff. But we have a couple of extra things. We have a couple of extra little secrets. You can actually see in this image, in this list that I have, all of the new Stellar Crown cards have been removed so that I can go through them one by one. Let's do them last, actually. Let's go through everything else first. We've got a 4/4 Dunsparce line. This is our main draw engine. And that is why we have the Buddy Poffin, because Buddy Poffin to set up is just fine, and then the card becomes useless later on. With the Dunsparce engine, Buddy Poffin on turn 10 to draw 2 more Dunsparce to potentially draw cards is actually really helpful with that runaway draw ability on the Dunsparce to draw us 3 cards. We have the Radiant Greninja to draw some cards, but also it helps set up the Sada's Vitality, because you do need the Psychic Energy in the discard pile. We don't really have much that does discard things in that way. We're playing 1 Mimikyu, but we have 2 Night Stretches in case we need to use the Mimikyu more than once. And the Mimikyu is basically I'm going to sit here, I'm hoping that you can't attack, and then you're going to skip turns, and I'm going to be able to have you slowly draw out in that way. We're playing 4 Explorer's Guidance, 4 Sada, 4 Poffin. Behind my big fat head is 4 Countercatcher. We have 1 Heavy Ball, so that we can find stuff like the Greninja, like the Mimikyu. Hitting Dunsparce 4 or Great Tusk 4 is also still just pretty good. 1 Silene, because we have the 1 Power Pad. The 1 Silene means that in theory we shouldn't be able to deck out, because you can put the Power Pad back in the deck, and then Power Pad can shuffle the Silene back in. This is an iffy one. I normally prefer to play Pidgeot V, but we'll see how this goes, because it might be relevant to put something else helpful back into the deck, like another counter catcher. We're playing 3 Great Ball. Great Ball is one of the best ways to find the Dunsparce, especially as the deck gets really thin. You have a really good chance of finding it. We're playing a bunch of stadiums. We have the 1 Town Store, 2 Artisan. Artisan works in the same way that Buddy Poffin does, where late in the game you can always be going and finding your Dunsparce after you're shuffling it back into the deck. So it works pretty well. And then our ace spec is 1 Neutralization Zone, because we're playing all the single prize, no rule box Pokemon, with the exception of Greninja. But it means that they're not going to take any damage from stuff like an aggressive Raging Bolt, from stuff like an Iron Hands, Charizard, which mostly has rule box attackers. So the goal is to have the other stadiums early on to get bumped, and then we play the Neutralization Zone, and hopefully it sticks. And then we are playing 7 basic Psychic Energy, and it is specifically Psychic Energy for a particular reason, which will come up in a second, and double Turbo Energy. So let's have a look at what our Stellar Crown cards are. I'll slip over to my Pokemon Live. We are playing the new Comfy. So this has an attack Flower Shower, where for 1 Psychic, each player draws 3 cards, which is pretty good. It's really good early if you are unable to set up a Tusk. Like if you don't play Sada, you won't have the 2 energy, you won't be able to attack with a Tusk. Having the Comfy, getting 3 cards out of their deck is pretty good, but also you get to draw the 3 cards to help you then potentially set up for your next thing. We're also playing 1 Fan Rotom. I started off playing 2, but then I realized it wasn't actually that difficult to hit all my guys. But basically, the plan is we Poffin on the first turn, we get 1 Fan Rotom, 1 Dunsparce, or 1 Comfy, most likely. And then Fan Rotom goes and gets 3 Dunsparce and puts them on the bench. So the goal is to have a lot of Dunsparce ready to become the Dunsparce as quick as possible. So you get all the gas, you definitely hit the Sada, and then you're ready to start hitting, ready to start milling stuff. Which has been pretty good so far. And then our last card is the Gravity Gemstone. This one is really interesting because as long as the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, the retreat cost of both active Pokemon is colorless more. So you put this on the Great Tusk, which already has a 3 retreat cost. It's never going anywhere. And then your opponent's Pokemon can't retreat unless they pay the 1 extra. This is really good if you counter catcher into like a Rotom from Charizard or a Fezandipity. You have this in play, it's going to cost them 2 to get it out, which is giving you at least 1 turn if they're holding the energy. And then you counter catch up the next thing that has no energy attached, and then you buy as much time as possible. So I am playing a full playset of these because I believe in the dream. But let's send it. Right before recording, I played against Charizard and it went really well. So I'm hoping I can run it back. We can hit a good matchup. We can make them draw their entire deck. They're also really low rated because it's just reset. All the ratings are changed, I guess. Yes, I want to go first. I also have no game sounds. I always play on mute. These things usually are just irritating, and I like to just play music instead. Okay, we hit a Dunsparce. I'm not going to bench the Tusk right away, even though I'm going first. I want to look at my deck first. Come on. Unless my opponent is a bot. No, maybe. I don't know. Come on. Ogerpon. Alright. Ogerpon is a tough one because it doesn't do the Gravity Stone too great. So I only have 3 Dunsparce in total. I'm going to do this and just get a Comfy. Yep. I'm going to bench my 2 Tusks. And then we're going to pass. So I am playing a double turbo energy. So if I Explorer's Guidance and I hit the double turbo energy, then Maguchi will attack with the Great Tusk. Otherwise, it might be looking like I'm going to be doing a Comfy attack on the first go. I'm assuming my opponent is playing the Hydrapple Ogerpon kind of list that's been going on. It's pretty popular. I have already played against it today, so there's a lot of thinking. Dream scenario, they just say go. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to let them draw a bunch of cards, potentially. So we'll see. Do you want to hit a double turbo? No. I could take Great Ball to look for another Dunsparce. I'm okay with... My other thought is that I take Silene so it doesn't go in the bin. But if I bin Silene here, then I just Power Pad later and it's fine. Okay, we are going to Dunsparce from the bench because the one in the active has a free retreat cost. Okay, we are going to attach the Comfy. Do I even take it out of the deck? Probably. It's fine. Alright. We're going to both draw 3 cards. So now the other thing is that because I've drawn with the Comfy, I can retreat with the Comfy, which puts a Psychic Energy into the discard pile, which I can then use to Professor Sada. Which is not terrible. I can also Sada onto the Tusk that is not going to attack here, Turbo the one that is going to attack here, and Sada counts as the Ancients of Water played, so that I can use Land Collapse for the value. But obviously, me letting my opponent draw 3 cards is they're going to have things to do instead of being bricked. He doesn't have any backup Pokemon? I mean, okay. Obviously, Squawkabilly would have been great if they Squawkabilly'd. This isn't a killer, this is only 120. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, now I have the problem of I can't play Sada. I can play this, which maybe buys me a turn. And then I just attach per turn. I'm going to bench just in case they Iono. As it stands, if they can't bump the neutralization zone, they can't KO the Great Tusk, and I can just attach. Okay, never mind. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. I'm really confused as to why they're not playing any backup Pokemon. Maybe they're holding stuff because they know that I might try and boss lock them. I have one Psychic in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push the Comfy. I'm then going to retreat the Comfy. So then I have 2 Psychic Energy in the discard pile. That was the other reason why I was happy to attach to the active. And so now that I can attach these both, I'm in theory a turn up. I can also do this. So I'm going to just attach this for turn. Go ahead and draw some cards. We've got a Greninja. We've got the other Dunsparce, so I'm happy to do that as well. We've got Fanroton, which I don't really need. I don't have any way of getting Dunsparce back onto the bench, which is not great. But it's fine. I might play the Greninja. Set up for a next turn Sada. Draw some more cards. Okay. Something like Zerosic would go insane here. Okay, cool, we hit a Dunsparce. But I should be fine. They have minimum 5 turns. And if I'm milling 4 cards each of those times, that's 20 cards. Curious as to what we hit, because I'm seeing a Noctowl. So this works well because they have the Ogerpon as their Terra Pokemon. He's gonna get the KO. This is fine. Push another Great Tusk. I guess he knows I can't KO the active, so he's not worried about it. Maybe here's where I find the Mimikyu. Maybe that's the vibe. And it's prized. I knew this because it didn't show up in the Poffin. But then we just Mimikyu next turn. I might attach an energy to the Mimikyu to tell him I'm serious. His 3 turns of attacks the Mimikyu kills the Ogerpon. He's forced to play something on the bench. That's fine. Okay, so I'm happy for you to take a Tusk here. I'm going to bench the Dunsparce. I think it's the right choice. Playing the Gravity Stone does nothing when they don't have any things to retreat to or from. Plays a Super Rod. Got a lot of recovery. We've already seen the Palpand. Fighting Energy makes me think that it is Raging Ball. Fanrotom does nothing here. Fanrotom kills Mimikyu. Okay, I see. I understand. But only if there's a Stadium in play. Unfortunately, there will be a Stadium in play. Let's just push our pivot. Poffin. I have 3 Tusk in the bin. Go ahead and Explorer's Guidance. I'm going to take this. And this. Alright, we are going to get back a Tusk. But I'm actually trolling. Because here's what I'm going to do. Push Mimikyu. We're going to counter catcher. We're going to KO the Fan Rotom. I'm going to get rid of his Area 0. Yeah, I think I could Gemstone the Fan Rotom. But I think just KOing it is fine. This should buy me a turn at least. And I get a prize. Oh. Heavy ball, let's go. No, okay. That's actually fine. I mean, it's like a bump another Area 0. Look at he's making use out of the extra bench space. He's gonna draw some more cards, please. Also, no, I have 9 cards in my deck. And we need to find Palpad. I need Palpad to not be prized. I don't think it was, but I'm gonna be in trouble. It's the other reason why having anti-deck out was important. Because it's rough. It's a little bit rough. Okay, just gets the 1 grass. I mean, he could use Artisan. And Artisan finds Rotom number 2? Do they play 2 Rotom? They have to. Did I mill a Rotom? I don't think so. They get a Hoot Hoot? Yeah, okay. So I thought. I can just count catch a KO the thing that I get every time, which is kind of funny. We hit a Gemstone. And basically lock them out of the game where they don't have a way to get past the Mimikyu, hopefully. And then I deck out because Palpad's prized. Which would be funny. I have no way to check. I have to search my deck somehow. I want to wait. The cute thing about the Dunsparce is if there's 1 card left in my deck, I can activate the Dunsparce to draw that 1 card and then shuffle 2 cards into my deck. I just think that might happen. And all attached cards. Let's attach some cards, shall we? Put as much energy as I can on the Dunsparce. This is the deck where I waste my opponent's time until they get frustrated and concede. They've got to be like, man, surely he'll run out of counter catcher. No, I had all 4 in my hand. This is the same gameplay for your experience for your opponent as Ironthorns is, where you're doing your best to make them do nothing, which is fun for a certain kind of person. But look, I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of decks that are incredibly greedy with the number of cards that they need to draw to set up and do things. There's a lot of Squawkabilly stuff happening. Regidrago has to draw a billion cards to become relevant. So the goal is to punish that gameplay style, ideally. Alright, in before we miss the coin flip. Okay. Okay, this is pretty good. We're going to open Dunsparce. I can discard the DTE to Greninja. But I don't know if I want to do that. Might not need to. I can Artisan for Rotom, get more Dunsparces. But then I guess I don't need a Tusk in play, like right away. So it's fine. And I can draw with the Psychic Energy, thank God. Okay, another Ogerpon deck. This is fine. I might not play the Artisan in that case. I'm gonna go like this. we are going to get all of the Dunsparces. Do I bench Greninja here? Yes, because I need to set up the Sada. I'm holding the Artisan because I can use Artisan to get Tusk next turn. I'm going to bench. I could bench 2 Dunsparce because I have the Dunsparce to draw and pull one out. So it should be fine. We hit pass. We say go. I do want to clarify, my arms aren't folded because I'm grumpy, it's cold, and I don't want to have to get up and get my jumper. Which is just there, actually. It's just slightly out of reach. I wonder if this is like just an exact repeat of the last game. Where they don't bench anything and they just sit with the active Ogerpon for ages. Whoa. It discards a Pokemon catcher? That's interesting. So yeah, it is Raging Bolt again. Bins both energy, goes and gets a Raging Bolt. Probably. It's a Squawkabilly maybe? So you got Squawkabilly, that's pretty good for us. I'm also not representing Mill, unless if you knew that was what the Comfy does. All I am representing is that I want to draw a million cards. Which is true and kind of funny. Do you have the lightning energy in hand to attack me here? What? Answer is no. What are you prime catching? Grenade. That's fine. Or I don't care. What is my guy doing? Surely this is where he plays Squawkabilly and then discards his 1 card. Oh, that's fine. Lol. Hopefully this buys me a turn. He's probably just drawn a Stadium, I'll be real. Okay, we're holding a Silene. I'm going to discard Psychic. We'll draw some cards. I don't Gemstone. I think I hold Gemstone. That's fine. I don't have anything I want to attach to for turn. Okay. Just pass. Burst Roar is great, but they, drew 6 cards. That's what I want. The thing is, Newt Zone means he still does deal damage to Radiant Greninja. It specifies rule box. Prevent all damage done to Pokemon that don't have a rule box. This one, yeah, does in fact have a rule box. So Greninja is the only thing you can do a damage to, which is fine. I have drawn the cards I wish to draw. He bumps it anyway. The thing that makes Newt Zone supposed to be good is that you save it until the very end and then play it. I only played it because I assumed he was bricked. During the 6 cards, obviously he found whatever he needed. Also, we might get Iono'd here, which I think is fine. Because Iono and then kills a Greninja, I am not having a bad time. Being able to counter catch a Greninja and Gemstone would be really good here. But I have to find a Gemstone. This might be a comfy attack turn. Potentially. Okay, he has a switch card anyway if I try and trap him. Unfortunately. The other thing is that he needs 6 consecutive attacks from this point to win the game. Oh, bundle? What do you bundle? I'm going to give you the fan ornament. It doesn't do anything for me. He's down to 20 cards left. So I should be able to find a Tusk and attack with a Tusk. Okay. I might gear for thinning. I don't want to Poker Start Mana Greninja. Doesn't quite get me there. Alright, let's Explorer's Guidance, because there's a non-zero chance that I hit Tusk. I'm gonna take Silene. It's not bad. I didn't hit Tusk, I didn't really hit anything. So we're gonna do a Night Stretcher, the Psychic Energy. We're going to retreat into Comfy. Attach the gemstone. I'm gonna force him to use the switch card, basically. Is my master plan. I have 2 explorers. I think that's fine. Let's draw 3 cards. Okay, we hit the Tusk. We have the Sada for next turn. My opponent did not shuffle in the Iona, so I wonder how many Iona they're playing. Because Iona was a way for you to put cards back into the deck. What is Fluttermane gonna do for you here? You trap my Dunsparce in the active? That seems unlikely. Oh, he attacks with it to kill Mimikyu? Okay, yeah, that's not the worst. I do see it coming from a little while away though. He still uses the switch card, surely. He's drawing so many cards. I guess he hasn't seen a Tusk yet. So maybe that's the vibe. Here we go, we're setting up the Fluttermane. He's got 5 cards left in his deck. He just dies if I Tusk one time. Tails in the Pokemon Catcher. Love to see it. Yeah, switch card. Okay. Kills my guy, which is fine. Push a Dunsparce. Discarding grass. Okay. Okay. I think in theory setting these up with 1 energy each means that if I do grab stone, they can attach retreat. Which is fine. Okay, we hit it to Dunsparce. Okay, we're gonna draw cards with the Dunsparce first. Because I need to find an energy for turn to attach. We're gonna draw 1,000,000 cards this turn. That's the plan. Okay, we have a gemstone. I'm going to get 2 Dunsparce out of the deck because I still need to draw an energy. Or Night Stretcher number 2. Okay, wow. Alright, we push Great Tusk. I'm gonna Great Ball to thin. Miss. I don't think there's much left I can hit. Apart from the Dunsparces I just shuffled in. So I still haven't found the energy yet. I'm gonna play Tusk number 2. We're then gonna Sada both of them. There should still be 4 Psychic Energy somewhere. Look, this will do. I am gonna counter catcher. just the Grinch, I guess. Is there anything else I want to do in the meantime? I don't think so. We land collapse onto one card, and I basically have to play an Iono. So we've seen 2 now. I've got 2 in the bin. So the deck has to play 2 more Iono or 1 more Iono. That's not in the prizes. He has to take 4 prizes still. We're way in front. Okay. Because even if they Iono, the 2 cards they discard to their retrieval are not getting shuffled into the deck. Assuming they use all of the energy they get back here. Because then there's only +1 card in the deck. Okay, you can retreat. Very good. Doing all of the teal dances just removes cards from the deck if they shuffle it all back in. But I have a hunch that they're actually just going to lose here. I'm not seeing the Iono play coming. Is this the I've angrily walked away from my desk moment? Because even if they KO the Great Tusk, they find a way to put cards in their deck. I've got the 2 Dunsparce that we can play, so that's drawing 6 cards. Do I have another double turbo? I have another double turbo somewhere that I can potentially just Explorer's Guidance and find a second energy for this. Boss. Why? I think he's just playing every card. I just pass. I just do nothing pass. I'm like, what goofy stuff am I doing in my turn? But look, 2 and 0. There's going to be no edits in this video, so you can see that I didn't lose games in between, and it's kind of fun. The actual game strategy for what you have to be doing is not that complicated. There might be a few little bits and pieces that I edit to make it work a little bit better. Maybe I'll actually play Neutralization Zone at the right time, like one time. But look, 1 Mimikyu seems okay at the moment. There could be an argument to go to more of them. You do also have the option to attack with the Mimikyu because you are playing the Psychic Energy. The Comfy seems to work pretty well, but the goal of the Comfy is to fill the space where the Great Tusk can't attack. So you're trying to hedge there. So I don't see the point in playing more Comfy. The Dunsparce Draw Engine works really well. It's pretty easy to get it set up. Hitting the Rotom means that you will have 3 ready to go for your second turn. To draw a million cards, to be able to hit the starter. The only main possible difficulty is getting the Psychic Energy into the discard pile to be able to start Sardering. And I could also be playing something like Earthen Vessel to potentially, find the energy a bit more consistently. So maybe playing a 1-of Earthen Vessel could work. I am playing the 2 Pokegear, but I just never had problems actually finding supporters in general. So it's kind of fine. But yeah, that is my Great Tusk Mill deck list at the moment. If you thought this was kind of cool, check out the Pokemon playlist. I do have a bunch of other Pokemon TCG guides and stuff kind of like this. And stick around the channel because I'm looking forward to making a bit more content like this. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one.